Wow, I really never saw something like this. There's something this beautiful. Look at this rainbow, and then it sort of goes into this black cloud, and oh, it's incredible. We just pulled up here in a place called Motus. I've never been here before. Had a great day, caught 2 real beautiful mackerel a couple of hours ago. So we've got fish for a couple of weeks now. We pulled up here after we left at 5:30 this morning, and it's 6 o'clock now. It's a long day, but beautiful finish. Look at the sky. It's just incredible. Look at that palm trees. This is just like the dream. Amazing. What do you think about that?
It's just amazing.
You don't catch many fish in Raja Ampat, and a lot of this area is a fish protected zone. But just here we're in a good zone, and we just got a double hookup. I was pulling in one, and Marie was pulling in the second line to get out of the way, and then she got hit with this one. Bang, we got 2. This is very good meat, Spanish mackerel. It's beautiful white meat. It's nearly my second favorite after coral trout. And this should keep us in fish for a couple of weeks. The size of this fillet, that's like a 2-kilo fillet right there. Well, now it got even more unbelievable. Look at the colours in this rainbow now. This big black triangle. This is so amazing to witness that after a day at sail, the whole day, and sun's about to go down back here. Hello. Kom along. Bye bye. Well, I hope you liked that episode. I don't know if you noticed, I hope you did, that the music should be a bit of an improvement. Instead of searching around for hours and hours for rights-free music that I can get away with using, I signed up for Epidemic Music Library. It's $10 a month and I get to choose for a lot higher quality music that's all copyright-free for YouTube. And it made it much nicer for me to edit the video too, so I hope you appreciate that. This is a bit of a shorter video, so I've decided to do a bit of a Q&A on the end of it. A lot of people write me comments and I do reply to all of them, but I figured I'd pick out a few of the best ones. So I picked out 5 or 6 this time, and I might do a bit more often. We'll see how we go. Leave your thoughts on that in the comments, whether you find it constructive or not, this Q&A thing. So I picked out 5 or 6 this time, and I might do a bit more often. We'll see how we go. Leave your thoughts on that in the comments, whether you find it constructive or not, this Q&A thing. Here we go. First one up. It's from Mariano Shala. Hi, Mariano. I like very much the cabin layout of your boat. What boat is it? I did talk a little bit about my boat a few episodes ago. I'll put a link up here. It's a Sayer 37. John Sayer specialises in designing and building boats for the Melbourne-Osaka race, which is a long-distance single-handed or double-handed race. I think it goes every 2 or 3 years. This boat was built for that race, basically. It's very light. It's quite fast. It's been built with no expense spared. Composite. It's got Kevlar reinforcing on all the slamming areas. It's quite a flat bottom. It's got a 2 metre deep keel with a 2.5 ton bulb on the bottom. It's got a 48% ballast ratio, so it's very stiff. It's got a 17 metre mast, so it carries a lot of sail, and it carries it quite upright because of this heavy keel. Yeah, so it's a good boat. I did some alterations to it to make it a bit more cruiser friendly. I probably added a couple of 100 kilos of weight to it, but I put in 2 new berths in the back and a lot of extra storage space. I put newer, bigger batteries in and newer, bigger solar panels on it. But other than that, I didn't do too much. Okay, this one from Stian Ditlefsen. Good to see you back on the boat. Any long trips planned this season? Not really, to be honest. Last season I had to do a lot of distance, and it was good, but to be honest, I would have rather stayed a lot longer in all those places I visited last year, but I had to make it here to Indonesia to find a marina to leave my boat at while I went back to work. This year I really wanted to go slower. Raja Ampat is a very beautiful place, and there is thousands of islands, and I really just want to spend more time looking around extensively. Having said that, I'm sailing over to Halmahera, which is a couple of 100 miles away. It's another island group. It's not Raja Ampat. I'm sailing over there in a couple of days actually with my brother, and we'll spend a month or so looking around there. And then maybe at the end of the season, around November, I'll sail up to Davao in South Philippines. That's about 4 days or something sail. So I might go up there and leave the boat there for the season. They've got a good marina up there, because I'll need to lift out and paint the bottom and do some work on the boat. So that'll be the longest trip. It'll be, maybe a 4. I might do it over 2 weeks and stop at some islands, but it's about 500 miles or something. It's not too bad. But they're about the only long trips I'm doing this year. This one's from Emmy. The video looks amazing. The only thing I think I'd struggle with is 1, loneliness, and 2, a feeling that my life hasn't got direction. I'm not achieving anything, whatever that means. So Emmy, loneliness, yes, obviously some people suffer from loneliness. Personally, I don't. I spend my winters traveling around the world with groups of people taking photos. I'm pretty much never alone, and I miss that, to be honest. On the boat, I'm on my own most of the time, but really only by myself when I'm doing passages between places. Whenever I get to a village or an atoll, I've got people, I get 20 kids on the boat, I've got people all around me. They're very curious and want to know what I'm doing and all that, so I'm not actually by myself very often at all. And the 8 or 10 days when I do a passage somewhere, I completely love it, to be honest. I love being by myself, listening to music, whatever I want, not talking, not having to reply to questions. It's just nice to let your brain go freestyle a little bit, just watch the waves, maybe read for 10 hours a day. If a person can't be comfortable in their own skin and with their own thoughts,
I feel sad for that person. I personally love being alone, and I really find it special that I can spend 10 days completely alone without internet and without seeing or hearing or having any feeling of another human being around. So that's part one of your question. Part two, yeah, a feeling that my life hasn't got any direction, I'm not achieving anything. Well, to be honest, I'm completely of a different opinion, and fair enough if you think that way, it doesn't apply to me. Life achievement, what is that, you know? Like, is that climbing the ladder, the corporate ladder? Is it getting up from a Golf to an Audi A4? Is that instead of going to somewhere on holiday, going somewhere better? Is it buying a better brand of clothes? I don't know what your life achievement is. For me, life achievement is just being happy. And I've never been happier since I bought my boat and started cruising. So my life, I have made a huge achievement. Not that I wasn't happy before, but it's a different level of happiness now. Phil Kerr asks, I'm curious as to why you changed yachts from the one in the earlier videos, as the first boat looked more like an ocean-going yacht. Well, that's what I thought when I bought it. I had no previous sailing experience. Sorry about all this wind, I hope you can hear enough. It's just a bit breezy here. Yeah, I'd never sailed before, so I watched blogs and read books and listened to people and mariners, and I sort of thought that a blue water boat was a full keel, heavy as possible, probably steel, at least 40 years old, short mast. I just thought that was an ocean-going yacht. Yeah, I don't think that anymore. My first boat was great for learning, with the full keel and everything, short mast, small sail area. You couldn't really get into much trouble. You could run it up on a sandbank every now and again on the keel. It didn't really make any difference. This boat, for me, it was built exactly for this. It was built for offshore racing. It can go hull speed, which is 8.5 knots or something, in pretty much anything from 10 knots to anywhere. It just gets along. People's thoughts on blue water boats, it's the same as people who believe an old Chrysler from the 60s, because it was made out of steel, is more safe than a new Tesla these days. Yeah, good, fair enough. Have those thoughts. I personally don't believe it. The brakes, the aerodynamics, the airbags, the electronic helps you've got on new cars make them 10 times safer in my view. And it's the same with boats. Why not use technology? This boat is more efficient. It goes through the water faster. It's got Kevlar reinforcing in the areas it needs it. So yeah, fair enough. Everyone has their own thoughts. That's my thoughts on the boats, and I'm very, very happy with this boat. Love your videos, Vernon. You're a massive inspiration. What's the name of the app you use again for satellite imagery navigation? Okay, that app is called Ovitel, or Ovital, some people call it. It's a Chinese app. I think it's free. There's a pro version, but you don't need it. Takes a little bit getting used to, because it's not, you know, it's a Chinese one. There's a lot of translation difficulties with it, but you figure it out. You've basically just got to go to the area of the world you want to go and visit. For example, Raja Ampat, and you download the high resolution, the highest you can for that region. And so when I download on level 18, which is the highest it goes to, I can zoom into 100 meters on a coral reef, for example, and you can see rowboats on the beach and things like that. So there's a lot of detail. Matt Muttberger, probably a Swiss guy, I would think. First of all, great footage and a pleasure to watch. Thanks, Mutt. At some stage in the video, you talk about climate change and the effect it has on the people of the islands. Since you seem to be a self-aware and philosophical guy, I wonder if you have any conflicts about your impact on the climate, since you do travel a lot for your work, etc. Well, Mutt, yes, I've thought about that a lot in the past. I used to travel a huge amount. I was scared that as a self-employed photographer, it was all going to end. So I took every job that I could, and I would fly around the world 6 or 7 times per year. And I loved it, to be honest. I got paid to travel and see everything. And this was 15 years ago. There wasn't so much knowledge about global problems, ecological problems, things like that. It's no excuse really, but I did end up changing it. I think 4 years ago when I bought my first boat, I scaled back the travel. And yeah, when I'm on the boat 6 months at a time, my footprint is pretty much as low as you could possibly have. There's no way living in a Western country you could live with a lower footprint as I live. I did 7,000 kilometres or a bit more than that of sailing last year and used just under 100 litres of diesel. I used over 130, 150 litres of petrol for the outboard. I used 18 kilos of butane for the cooking facilities. Other than that, my solar panels covered everything. Charging of laptops, navigation, fridge, freezer, all that. I catch my rainwater, for example. I buy all my food from local people. I don't get anything imported. I don't have a washing machine. I wash stuff in the rain when it rains. I don't have a flushing toilet. I don't have an air conditioner. I do think about that, and I think everyone should. I think everyone should think about that. But obviously you can't go crazy. It's not going to change the world, to be honest. We need big changes. We need industrial-sized changes. Mentality change is obviously important as well, but to be honest, I believe the only way the world is going to change is if it's economically viable. It has to be economically viable for big companies, and they're the ones that are making the big mess. Okay, well that's it for this video. I'd like to thank my patrons once again, as I do in every video, and it's not just because I have to do it. I really do thank you very much for your continued support. As you saw in the previous video, I lost my drone overboard. I didn't explain anything. I thought, just put it in there as a bit of a laugh, but I was a bit upset because I use that drone nearly every day, and it's definitely drone footage in every episode. I've been flying drones for 10 years and I've never lost one in my life, but this one is definitely at the bottom of the ocean. My mistake is what it is. But yeah, that's $2,000 that went down to the bottom of the ocean that day, or 2,500 Australian dollars. So yeah, as you can see, these videos cost quite a bit to produce. I lost a GoPro Hero 7 the other day as well, a brand new one. I only used it once. That got water inside it first time I used it. Another $500 or $600 maybe. So yeah, the Patron income is very, very appreciated. It doesn't make me rich. It doesn't even cover my costs as far as when I do dumb things like losing drones, but paying for internet out here is quite expensive too. But I would really enjoy the feedback you guys give as well. It's not just the support and the money, it's the feeling that you're really interested in what I'm doing, and it keeps me motivated to sit down for 8 hours and 40-degree temperatures downstairs to edit these videos. Yeah, so thanks again. And for anyone out there who's watching these videos who'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description of this video. If you're saving for your own boat, like a lot of people are, don't give me any money. Please don't. Save it for your own boat. Go out and do your own thing. But anyway, leave your comments down below. See what you think of this new video, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm putting them out every 2 weeks this year because I want to get a bit of a backlog built up, so when I go back to work for a month or 2 months or how long it is, there's no cut. Last year I didn't have any videos for 3 months, and a lot of you were a bit annoyed and asking when the next ones were coming out, so I'll be putting them out every 2 weeks, and that'll be consistent now. Okay, learning by doing swag down below. Cheers, see ya.